Coming to you from the studios at the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum on Route 66, it's the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast.
Rock and roll Chicago, rock and roll Chicago, my hometown. Well, I was born in the city, gonna rock your city, Chicago. Chicago rock and rollers are the best you're ever around.
Hey everybody, it's Ray the Roadie.
And this is Hollywood Mike. How you doing today, Ray?
I'm doing good. How you doing? How's that tooth?
It's not there anymore.
Oh, good.
And the pain is starting to subside.
Subside now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's been almost 2 weeks. It'll be 2 weeks on Wednesday since the dentist had his knee in my chest.
Wow.
And was pulling a tooth out of my mouth. Yeah.
Did you put it under your pillow?
You wouldn't want this tooth anywhere near. Yeah.
No.
It had seen better days.
Pretty nasty, huh?
Yeah. I think it was the result of when I was a kid, I got hit in the side of the face with a fastball that came in a little too high and tight.
Was it a baby tooth? Maybe it got lodged in there.
I don't know. Something happened. I didn't like it though.
Like a rear fang or something.
Yeah. It's so weird that we're talking about my tooth.
I don't know. I care.
I mean, we've got Leah sitting right here across the table.
We do.
We're
And she's looking at us like we're nuts.
No, I'm intrigued. I feel like I need to know more about this tooth. You think you know someone we met 10 minutes ago, and now I'm hearing about this big tooth. So,
and it was a big tooth. When they pulled that thing out of my mouth, I was like, really?
That thing's in there?
Where was that?
Was it a giganta tooth, like your gigantar outside?
From now on, that's what we're calling it. That tooth was gigantar. Yeah.
Gigantor.
Tooth-gantar.
Tooth-gantar. There you go.
So if anybody's wondering what's going on here, joining us today is Lia Caton. How you doing?
Good. Great. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Thanks for coming out.
Our applause didn't work.
Our applause didn't work.
Look at that.
Can we hit that again? Like do the extra loud applause?
Because you don't have the volume up.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, somebody always puts all the sliders down.
Yeah, they don't know how to do that. So.
No, it works. At least you knew which one it was.
Yeah. So where'd you find Leah?
I found her through an email. What is he, your publicist?
One of my publicists, yes, okay. I believe. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He sent me an email, asked me if we'd be interested, and I said, sure. And here we are.
Cool. And here we are. Thank you.
Excellent. So Leah, tell us about yourself.
So my name's Lia Caton. I'm a singer-songwriter. I'm originally from Boston, but I've been living in the Chicagoland area since about 97. And I split time between here and Nashville. So I live in Naperville and in Nashville. We have a place down there. And I'm a mom of two. I'm married. I love my rescue dogs and my animals and pets. And I'm just, very passionate about being a homeless advocate as well.
Wow. So from Boston to Chicago to Nashville.
Yes. Quite a trip.
Yeah. So take us down the road. How did everything come about?
Well, I was living in Boston and I was an actor out there and I wanted to move out to Chicago to study at Second City. So, nice. Yeah, so I moved out here to do that.
When were you there? When were you at Second City?
In 97. So I only took classes. I was never on the main stage, but so I was never didn't have a claim to fame there or anything. But it was when Rachel Dratch was there.
Oh, okay.
And Tina Fey had just left. And Rachel Dratch is from Boston and she actually taught me the Chicago grid system. Oh. I was waitressing there and I was taking classes and she was very sweet and very nice. So
wow. Okay. Yeah. My wife and I actually went to Second City quite a bit during that time period. We did see Rachel Dratch there and there was a guy there. I can never remember his name, but you've seen him in a bunch of sitcoms since like 97, 98.
Scott Arts, AD.
He's got kind of like short, curly, kind of like reddish hair, maybe red hair, but it could also be light brown. Mm-hmm. And whenever we see him, my wife and I look at each other and we go lickety split. Because he used to do this bit in Second City where he would just keep saying lickety split. And for the past, and ever since then, we refer to him as the lickety split guy.
That's fantastic.
I have no idea what his real name is.
But yeah, isn't that great? He probably loves that.
We'll have to look him up.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. There's so much great talent came out of there. Not me, but a lot of other great talent came out of there.
But, I hear that, there's a lot of actors that actually have done that. They've gone to Second City and they said, I've never been on the main stage. I took classes there and I was a bartender or I was a waitress or whatever it was. But you learn a lot just from being in the building.
That's why I started working there. I wanted to waitress so I could watch the show every night. Right. So it was like the best education. And I got to meet Rachel as well as Scott Arts, who went on to be on 30 Rock, Jim Solovic. It was just a very cool environment to be on. But I also had a passion for music. I had always been a singer. So I came here, started my singing in a band, got married, had kids, got divorced, and here we are.
Did you do any singing in Boston?
I did, but not more like musical theater, stuff like that. And I wrote my own songs and sung with some bands out there, but I didn't have a full band at the time.
Okay, so it all clicked here.
Yeah, it definitely all clicked here. And when I started really seriously songwriting, probably in like 2000, and I'd always written, but that's when I really started getting into it and started traveling down to Nashville back in, I believe 2004 was my first trip down there during the Chimpan South. And it was a life-changing trip. When I went down there, I was able to see songwriters from all over the world that write songs that you hear on the radio all the time. And it was just really a unique education. And going down there and seeing it in person was just something that I became obsessed with.
Yeah. Did you ever get a chance to spend any time at the Bluebird Cafe? I absolutely love that place.
The Bluebird Cafe is one of my favorite places. It's not the same anymore, though. So now you can't even get in to the Bluebird. So I don't know when the last time was that you tried to get in there. It is absolutely like the reservations open up at like 8 o'clock in the morning and you have to be in an online line to get in there and you can barely get in. But back in the day, you could go and walk in and, the place it wouldn't be half empty, but it certainly wouldn't be the way it is now.
Right.
And I mean, you could see just amazing performers there.
Do you play any instruments?
I play 3-chord country guitar.
Okay.
So yeah, I can play guitar, but not that I always leave that to the professionals when I can. But if I can play in a round, if I have to, by myself.
Because I usually ask people that write. Do the lyrics come to you first or the music?
Probably the lyrics, I would say, because my guitar playing hinders me. But if I can play a melody, then that will inspire me to write. Or I work with other writers that are stronger melodically, and they will play a melody, and then that will inspire me to write. My last 2 songs, the one, Are We Gonna Fall in Love, that was released in February, that was actually written over something called a top lining track. So someone else wrote the track, and then I became inspired and then wrote the lyrics over that and were able to use that.
Never thought I'd do this again. I swore I was done with men. Now I'm sipping a double on the rocks, and Shania's playing on the jukebox. My friends say I love your eyes, and you're not like the other guys. I've heard it all before. Now you're walking through that door.
That's a nice song. I was listening to that earlier
Thank
today.
you. It's one of my favorites.
Do you have a spot, whether it's here or Nashville, where it's kind of like your Bluebird, where you take new songs and try them out?
Not necessarily. I play in rounds all over Nashville. The one that I played in most recently was at the Virgin Hotel back in October. So I don't necessarily have one particular place that I like to go to try them out.
What's the name of that place? That may have been one of the places. The last time I was in Nashville was, it was right after COVID started to end, I guess, if it never really ended, but I had to go for a trade show and nobody wanted to go out and I wanted to go find music. And I did. I tried to get into the Bluebird.
Yeah, can't even close.
And that's when I found out. Yeah. I even called them in the whole bit. They just said, oh yeah, you're not going to be able to get in there. And then I was listening to the lineup of like the previous week and the coming week. And I said, okay, yeah, I understand why you can't get in this place anymore.
Sure.
Because it's not, it used to be, okay, so maybe you heard of the person, maybe you didn't hear the person because they were songwriters.
Right.
It was back during that time when, there was an era where they liked songwriters in Nashville.
Yes.
And they liked singers in Nashville, but they didn't like singer-songwriters in Nashville. And that's changing now. So now if you go to the Bluebird, you'll see Taylor Swift, performing at the Bluebird.
100%.
Steven Tyler was perforning there the night that I tried to get in.
Oh, cool.
So
yeah.
it's like, when people hear about that, all of a sudden, tickets are sold, it's over, it's done with. That's, you're not going there seeing amateur songwriters.
No, absolutely not. No.
Yeah. And I ended
not anymore.
I ended up someplace in a hotel. And I can't remember what
Careful.
Was it the Analog, the Hutton Hotel, the Analog? They have a lot of the hotel. Oh, maybe the Commodore has a big.
I think it was the Commodore.
Is it like the lobby? You walk in and it's on the left hand side in the lobby.
Is that the building where the door's kind of like an archway?
I don't remember.
And I could be wrong too, because there was bourbon involved in this.
I was going to say, I was going to say there's probably bourbon involved when I've been there too. So that's why I don't remember.
Yeah. I ended up at the place. The one thing that I do remember is because I ended up close to a place called The Benchmark, which is a small little bar. I was someplace close there because then we went there afterwards. But yeah, I can't remember. But anyways.
It'll come to you. It might come to you.
And I've never been there.
You've never been to Nashville?
Never been to Nashville. It's on my bucket list. I want to go so bad.
You have to go to Nashville.
I do.
It's such an easy trip.
I know.
It's super easy. Yeah. It's like an easy drive, not that big of a drive, or you can fly down there and super, super quick.
Yeah. It used to be, you used to be able to get a round trip ticket for less than $200 out of Midway.
Oh, 100. I used to, back in the day, I would fly down there for a day for a co-write, and like it was like maybe $125 or something to go down. And now you can't even, the tickets are like $4 something each way.
They're crazy.
Right.
Crazy. Yeah. I'll get down there. Might even get down there this year.
So is that more your style? Are you more of a country performer, Americana? Describe your style for the folks that don't know who you are.
I would have to say that I'm multi-genre. If I had to kind of, I know that that's kind of a broad thing, but Americana probably encompasses it more, but a little bit country, a little bit rock and roll would be the best way to describe me.
I've heard that song.
Yeah, you've heard. I know.
Donnie and Marie.
Yeah, that was so not original of me to say that, but that's the best way to describe it.
Right. So we've got this album here.
Yes.
Everybody can see this. This is a great picture of her right there. Right. So tell us about this album. This is not your current album.
This is my current album.
Okay.
My latest single was released on last Friday on St. Patrick's Day.
Right.
But that one's called Turn the Silence Off. But this is my album that was released back in August, and it's called Someone Like You. I chose that title because all of the songs are very personal to me, but I hope that there's something that everyone else can relate to as well. Right. And that will kind of all bring us together as humans.
Right. Well, that's great. And you were saying that one of these songs on here is kind of your anthem.
Hell or High Water, the first single off the album, is definitely my anthem. It's basically about overcoming triumphs and adversity, and my story of leaving Boston from a broken home or difficult childhood, and just being able to overcome that, and what it took to come hell or high water. I was going to make something of my life and make music, make art, whatever it was going to be, in spite of all the adversity that I had, and overcome that.
Wow. Sounds deep.
Maybe we should take a listen to it now.
Yeah. Well, when did you write that song? Just out of curiosity.
I wrote that in Nashville about 4 years ago with my co-writer, Benji Harris. And we were sitting around the studio one day, and he's like, what should we write today? And he's like, tell me about how you got to Nashville. And I started telling him the story, and I said, come hell or high water, I was going to get here. And he said, and that's the song we're writing today.
All out through the dark, I watch the sun light up the room, just like the rain that's falling hard. I ride the wind wherever it blows, and I'm never coming back. I was born to leave this town, broken home, my broken heart was left in pieces on the ground. I know a change, it ain't too far, 'cause I'm lightning, I'm thunder, I'm a shot taking everybody under. I'm wild and I'm free, I'm a hot bullet raising every heartbeat. Love me or hate me, nothing you can say will ever break me. This fire's only getting stronger, come hell or high water.
And it just it was just, when I heard, when it was finished, when we finished writing, I'm like, it was just kind of an amazing thing to hear.
Well, that's great, because you left Boston a while ago and came to Chicago then. So it was kind of a long time coming.
It really was a long time coming.
Come hell or high water.
Come hell or high water. And The video for Hell or High Water was directed by Greg Bizzarro from Jaffe Films in Naperville, and that was on the Country Network back in October. So, the video's on YouTube now, so you can catch that as well.
Oh,
but,
excellent.
It was just a really powerful and personal song.
Yeah, hey, Paulie, we'll have to find a clip of that video.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I hope the
Most
video
definitely.
is. I think that's it. Just that really tells the story as well.
Right. So, just curious, how do you get yourself out there? Are you booking dates in Chicago and Nashville? I mean, are you touring? Tell us a little bit about that part of your life.
Well, I've been focusing on writing the album for the past 4 years and traveling back and forth to Nashville pretty regularly, at least once or twice a month, and been performing in rounds down there. But I am working here now, and we're putting the band's getting back together, and we're going to be putting together a theater and casino type show that's going to be starting later in the year. We have our first date is September 16th, I believe, at Lockport, the studio in Lockport, which is going to be really...
My friend Laura.
That's right. I saw that. Where did I read that?
That's great.
I read that somewhere. You're going to be at the studio in Nashville and the studio
I'm sorry.
here.
Yeah, I'm going to be in the studio. I'm sorry. Let me back up. Can I re-say that?
Sure.
Okay, so I'm going to be on June 23rd. I'm going to be at the studio in Lockport.
Okay.
Doing a songwriter spotlight there, and really excited with Mike Aquino is actually going to be playing guitarist.
Who's also a good friend of mine.
Yeah. He's a great guy.
Yeah, he sure is.
So he's going to be jumping in with me on that show. And then September 16th, we have a show at the Roxy in Lockport, which is going to more of a theater type show.
I think she's following me. I think I have my own personal stalker.
I think so.
I just participated in the singer-songwriter showcase this past Friday at the studio.
Oh, did you? Cool.
And I host the open jam there every Sunday night at 8:00.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And Cadillac Group just played the Roxy on Saturday.
So it's kind of awkward that your stalker shows up at a podcast, right? You thought that I was just here as an invited guest, and all of a sudden it's the publicist that emailed you. All of a sudden, kind of comes full circle.
That's right. Yeah, it's kind of creepy.
Oh, that's awesome.
Just to let everybody know that today's podcast is brought to you by the studio in Lockport and the Roxy. If you guys hear us, we're looking for sponsors.
Right. Well, did you guys know this is actually something that I don't mind talking about on the radio? Did you know that the Roxy is actually owned and run by, they're called
Trinity
Services.
Right.
Yeah, and that's just an excellent organization. And people who go to the Roxy to see a show are helping support that organization.
That's right.
We actually dumped out Phil D. Bucket. Phil D. Bucket is our tip bucket.
Oh, wow.
And we dumped Phil out at the beginning of the show, and all the money that went into Phil, we donated back to the organization that night. So that was
very nice.
That was actually a good time. So.
Yeah, they do a great job.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
whoever thought of that, fixing up the Roxy and starting that.
Yep.
It's really cool inside.
Very smart.
You've been there already?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I just went and checked it out, and it's gorgeous. It's really just has a very vibey.
Right.
It's a really cool place.
Now, who are you going to have with you playing that night?
Well, we're putting the band together now.
So you're still doing it?
Yeah, we're still putting that together, working with the musical director. Going to be putting that all together over the next few weeks and getting that all solidified.
Okay. They are great. They're fantastic. And you're going to love Laura. Have you met Laura over at the studio yet?
No, I haven't met her yet.
You're going to have a best friend for life once you meet her.
Oh, cool. I'm looking forward to meeting her.
And she can sing extremely well. Also, she's
awesome.
She's a very talented.
Oh, that's awesome. I love meeting fellow singers and songwriters, especially local.
Right.
And Laura was on the podcast a while ago.
Yeah, she sure was.
With her band, Simple Remedy.
Right.
Oh, I'm going to have to check her out.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
They're great. Their music is probably a little similar to yours. A little country, little rock and roll,
Okay.
little Americana and the whole bit. I think you'll like them.
Awesome.
That actually that would be a good combo one night.
Yeah.
Actually.
Well, they do. Laura does, a duo.
Yep.
Or she'll do the whole band too.
Mm-hmm.
They do both.
Oh, awesome.
Right. So tell us a little bit about, you have a writing partner. Tell us a little bit about how that collaboration came about and how you work together and all that.
So my producer in Nashville set me up with Benji to work together. He thought we would collaborate well together, and he was a touring guitarist at the time on the road with Jordan Davis. And so he was traveling quite a bit on tour, and we would get together down in Nashville in the studio, and I had some ideas that I had and some songs that I had written, and I gave them to him, and he just brought this magic to them and really just brought them to life and just added something magical to them. So we had about 2 days to write the album, 2 or 3 days to write the album. And we pulled songs out of the air, and it was just kind of a really magical experience.
Right. It's nice when stuff gels like that.
Yeah, it really was. It really was. So we have great synergy, and we've written a lot of songs together.
Right. So what's next? What's coming up for you immediately within the next few months?
Immediately, I'm leaving for LA next week, and I'm going to co-write with Bill Champlin from Chicago, the band Chicago, and filming a kind of a mini songwriting documentary of him and I writing, with Greg Bizarro's flying out with me from Jaffe Films, and we're leaving on Tuesday, so we're doing that. So that's going to be fun.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be fun. And then when I get back, we're just really getting the band solidified and going to look forward to playing out later in the summer and taking the show on the road.
Okay. Excellent. So are you going to have another album? I'm showing my age because I keep saying album. I can't say CD. I can't do it.
There are albums. There's still
it's an album.
And you know what? Vinyl is back. Vinyl is back.
That is true. That is true. So you've got, you just had a new release, a single release.
Yeah. So this album was released in August. Then I released a single on Valentine's Day, Are We Gonna Fall in Love? And then this past Friday on St. Patrick's Day, I released Turn the Silence Off, which I did not write, actually. It was written by a friend of mine, Anita Lynn, who has been a longtime friend of mine that I actually met through the Nashville Songwriters Association, NSAI, when I first sought out the songwriting organization here in Chicago. She was the first person I met, and her and a couple of other girls asked me if I wanted to go on a road trip to Nashville. And I was apprehensive because they were more of, experienced writers at the time. And I jumped in the car with them. We drove down, and I came back a different person. And she was very influential in my writing, and very, just encouraged me over the years and kept me going when it got difficult or when I wanted to give up. She'd be like, no, you can't give up. And she would just always really help me. So she wrote this song, Turn the Silence Off. And I was driving to Nashville last year for a recording session. And I heard it. I was driving down there. I'm like, I love this song. And the lyrics were just heartbreaking and haunting. And she wrote it. And it was really important for me to record something that she wrote, especially because it was such a good song. And It was really cool. So I scratched one of the songs that we were going to record and put hers in for the recording session and record it, and just released it last week.
Oh, excellent.
Good thing you took that trip.
Right? Yeah. It was absolutely, I wouldn't be sitting here.
Yeah. That seems to be another trend that's changing a little bit as well. The days of locking yourself in a studio for several weeks and recording 8, 9, 10, 11 songs. Right. That's over and done with. You can record one and drop it, and record another one and drop it. And at the end of 6 months, you've got your album.
Right.
Why wait for the whole thing to be done when you can start releasing them one?
Right.
One
and I had some space between this album here. And so I had the singles that were in the back burner that I wanted to release, but I'm working on the next album now, which is going to kind of be more of a bluesy type, more of a Bonnie Raitt type feel to it.
Nice.
Yeah. So hopefully we're going to, Bill will be able to help out with that and see if we can get a song or two out of that in the next album.
Right. Again, I'm still old school. I love to have the,
I like to have something tangible. Me too.
Right,
yes.
Right. And you can sit here and look through it the whole bit and read everything as you're listening to each one of the songs.
It has liner notes.
I know.
The lyrics are so small though that you can't read them. I need my readers. So I have to pull them out.
Yeah. Oh my, you do have the lyrics and everything in here. Mm-hmm. This is totally old school.
Yeah. Yeah. I went old school with this one.
I'm definitely going to listen to this. I have a feeling I'm going to like this, and I have a feeling my daughter's going to like this too.
Oh, cool. Thank you. How old's your daughter?
She is 19, soon to be 20.
Okay, cool.
And, but I have a feeling she's going to like this. I'm going to like it too.
My daughter's 20 and my son is turning 16 in 2 weeks. So about the same age, teenage land. Do either of them have musical aspirations? They do not. Neither one of them do not have musical aspirations, or they like to listen to music.
Yep. Mine too. And so I don't think I even told you this, but so my son is going to be 21. Mm-hmm. The Monday after Easter coming up, and all their lives I've been trying to get them to do something musical. I bought drum kits and keyboards, and I've got 20 guitars hanging on the walls, you know, in my own little studio in the basement and the whole bit. Neither one of them. My daughter can actually sing like an angel.
So can mine, and she won't sing.
She won't
sing. Yep.
My son had a natural talent to play the drums. He never took a drum lesson, but he could, you know, put on a song by AC/DC and kind of figure it out and, you know, beat away on the drums. And then just a few months ago, he says, Dad, can I borrow one of your guitars? Okay, sure. Right. And then today he sends me a video of himself playing Simple Man.
So he picked it up.
So he picked up the guitar. Yeah.
So you think they're not looking, or you think they're not paying attention, but then they'll come out and surprise us one of these days. Fingers crossed.
So there's still hope.
There's still time.
I got so excited. I sent it to my mother. I said, it's about time one of these guys followed in my footsteps. And sent the video to my mother. She goes, oh, that's great.
Got to leave the guitars to somebody.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So I want to hear this. I want to hear this newly released single.
It was called
Turn the Silence Off.
This house has never felt so empty. The sounds of you and me are gone now. The quiet's like a silent torture. Gotta fill it up so I can't remember. Turn up the radio. Find a new club to go to. Anywhere but alone. Trying to turn the silence off. I wanna take back all your tears. I'm sorry ringing in my ears. Turn it so loud that I can't hear. Trying to turn the silence off. Hey!
Well, that was absolutely fantastic.
It was.
I love absolutely everything that you do.
I do too.
And I can't wait. I am going to go to the singer-songwriter showcase at the studio because I think that's the greatest way to see an artist.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's where you hear the stories, and we really are going to be able to tell the stories behind the songs that are on the album that are, you know, and that's really where you get to know and get to connect with songs and the artists, I think.
Right.
Similar to the Bluebird.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'm so glad that someone out here finally did something similar to that.
Right, right. And it's catching on because other people are starting to do it as well. Laura does a great job over there. Candlelight at each one of the tables.
Oh, awesome.
Puts tablecloths on it. It's beautiful. You really feel like the people are there to hear you and they want to hear the stories. I mean, people were shushing each other.
That's awesome.
It was great. You know, the entire evening started with the host asking everybody to please keep conversations to a minimum. But if people started to talk a little bit, you heard shh.
So if you when you go to the Bluebird, they have the little table tents that say shh across it. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what nobody wants to hear anybody talking. They want to hear that.
That's right.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that.
Excellent. So what has to happen for you this year for you to consider 2023 to be a success and you've accomplished all your goals?
I mean, I don't know. Next week, going to write with Bill Champlin, that's a pretty big one. So that's pretty successful. I'm really excited about that. But I think just really looking forward to being able to play out and get back out to performing again, which is one of my first loves. So I'm excited about that. And that's the biggest thing.
How long has it been for you? Did you take a significant amount of time out from performing live or?
No, not really. I performed doing like singer-songwriter rounds and stuff like that. Full band I haven't done in a couple of years, but but definitely that's where I'd like to be. It's really doing that, having that connection, or like the rounds too, or just any singer-songwriter type of interaction is always great too. Being able to share the stories. Right.
So, gosh, I had a question in my head and it just went.
Maybe it fell out of that socket in your mouth.
And we're coming back full circle.
I don't know. It's just what I thought of.
Bite me.
It's got to go somewhere. I don't have to worry about you doing that.
Yeah, I'm toothless now. So after you've got all these dates and this is what it was. After you got all the dates and everything scheduled, how can people find you? What's your website?
My website is liacaton.com, which is LIACATON as in Nancy. And my music sites or any social media is at Lia Caton Music.
All right. And I'm assuming you're on all the social media.
Yeah, all social media streaming platforms, Instagram, Facebook.
And, and I'm doing this like they can't just look at her. But yeah, that's what she looks like.
That's right. That's right. Well, thanks for coming in, Leah.
Thank you so much
Really
for having me. This has
appreciate it.
been
Good luck
fun.
with everything.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks. Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
And there you have it, everybody. Lia Caton. Oh, you missed your cue.
There it is. You were actually doing air crowd noise. That's great.
I was doing air crowd noise.
What a refreshing interview. I think that was the first time since I've been with you that we actually had somebody who was focusing on the singer-songwriter part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the dates that she's looking to book are based around supporting her album or her singles releases.
Right.
And she's, working in Nashville. You can tell she's serious about her craft.
And she's working with some great people.
Yeah. Some great local musicians, which is exactly what we're trying to do and feature on this podcast.
Yeah. I'm still saying that trip she took down to Nashville, she didn't take that. It wouldn't have happened.
That's right.
Sometimes you just never know. You don't think you're worthy,
Right. Absolutely.
Just pull it off. If you're not worthy, it doesn't happen. Hey, you went to Nashville.
That's right.
Where I've never been.
Where you've never been.
All right.
We got to work on that.
That's right. I got to get down there. So make sure you check out Lia Caton. See her CD. I almost said album, but they are albums. I'm sorry. They're still albums. They're still albums. Make sure you pick up a CD of hers. Check her out when she's out and about somewhere in the area. She's going to be at the, was it in June, she say, or July?
I believe it was June.
In June, she'll be at the studio in Lockport. You're welcome, Laura. So until next week, thanks for joining us and see you next Tuesday.
We will see you then.
The Rock and Roll Chicago podcast is edited by Paul Martin. Theme song courtesy of M&R Rush. The Rock and Roll Chicago podcast does not own the rights to any of the music heard on the show. The music is used to promote the guests that are featured.
Rock and roll Chicago. Rock and roll